Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Boston University's webinar, Expanding the Financial Planning Profession, hosted by BU's Financial Planning Program Director, Carolynn Tomin, CFP. My name is Sarah, and I will be moderating today's presentation as Carolynn introduces you to BU's online financial planning program and shares the career outlook for CFPs and the need for diverse practitioners. We do invite you to ask questions throughout the webinar by typing in the questions box in your webinar control panel that's located on the right side of your screen. We will address your questions toward the end of the presentation during the questions and answers session. And as a reminder, this webinar is being recorded and a link will be sent to your email for your reference and to share with your colleagues. So we have a nice audience here with us today. Thank you for attending, so we'll jump right in. All right, so our agenda today will be covering what is financial planning and the skills needed to be successful in this field. Next, we'll cover why financial planning is a great profession for everyone, specifically underlining the need for a more culturally diverse workforce, welcoming more women and people of color. And then finally, we'll wrap up with the BU Financial Planning Program overview. All right, I would now like to introduce Carolynn Tomin, the Program Director for Boston University's Financial Planning Program. Carolynn has been assisting students in their journey to becoming CFP professionals for more than 25 years and has helped develop BU's program while also having taught CFP courses and reviews. All right, and with that, Carolynn, I welcome you, and I'll now turn it over to you today to lead our discussion.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah, and hi, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us today. I'd like to begin by explaining what financial planning is all about. So that's really because many people believe financial planning only involves investment planning or portfolio management. And while this is a very important part of financial planning, it's really not the whole picture. What financial planning is, it's a collaborative process that helps maximize a person's potential for meeting their life goals. Financial planning combines the subjects of insurance planning, income tax planning, retirement planning, estate planning, and education planning when helping clients meet their personal and financial goals. And helping clients improve their financial circumstances is a very important reason why 92% of CFP professionals say they are either satisfied or highly satisfied with their career choice. Now, a misconception that people have about financial planning is that it's all about crunching numbers for clients, when the most important skills needed to be successful in this career include things like communication skills. These are important to establish a rapport with your clients. It's really important to understand your clients' wants, their needs, their fears, and objectives so that you can ultimately help them meet their life goals. Also, counseling skills to help motivate your clients to take certain actions and to keep them focused on meeting their goals. What's also important is to be able to build client relationships that are long-lasting and that are based on mutual trust, and also educating clients about how your financial planning recommendations will help them achieve their goals. Now, I'm sure that many of you are aware that a lot of different professionals will call themselves financial planners or financial advisors, but the CFP credential is recognized as the standard of excellence in the financial planning profession. Certified financial planners must go through a 4-step process to be certified. We call this the 4 E's. The first E is education, which means completing a CFP program that has been approved by CFP Board, such as the BU Financial Planning Program. The next E is examination, which means completing a rigorous CFP Board exam at the end of your studies. The exam is computer-based, and it's taken at a Prometric testing center near you. The third E stands for work experience, which means satisfying the CFP Board's 2 or 3 year work experience requirements. Your previous work experience is reviewed to see if it qualifies after you pass the exam. But if you don't have any work experience, then you'll have 5 years to obtain it after you do pass the board's exam. And the last E stands for ethics, since all CFP professionals are held to very high ethical standards. Now, CFP professionals have a fiduciary duty to put their clients' interests first before their own. That's what distinguishes many CFPs from other financial advisors who do not have CFP certification. It's reported that 9 out of 10 Americans want fiduciary advisors who put their interests first when providing investment advice. The public respects and trusts financial planners with CFP certification, and we have an obligation to uphold that trust by always acting as a fiduciary when providing financial advice and financial planning services to our clients. Well, we have great news on this slide that the financial planning profession has only been around for about 50 years, but it's a growing field. Surveys show that the public wants to work with CFP professionals, and even though there are now around 89,000 CFPs in this country, more CFP practitioners are needed to meet the public's demand. Financial planning is a growing and sustainable career. As you can see by these statistics from the Department of Labor, there is a 4% job growth forecasted for financial advisors through the year 2029. Unemployment for financial advisors is at a very low 0.4%. A Cerulli study done in 2015 found that 1 in 6 advisors are planning to retire in the next 10 years. So it's not surprising that right now there are more financial planners over the age of 70 than under the age of 30. Imagine that. Now, besides being a growing profession, financial planning is also a very rewarding career. The job financial advisors ranks highly by U.S. News and World Report, since it's listed as number 24 out of the best 100 jobs. And it is ranked as number 4 as the best business jobs in the United States. Salaries for financial advisors are above the national averages in some states too, with an average pay for CFP practitioners of $87,850. They also found that lead advisors with CFP certification earn a median income of $154,480 in the year 2019. So in this slide, we've listed 4 advantages of becoming a CFP practitioner that we want to share with you. The IT group found that in 2016, that CFP professionals have a, number 1, competitive advantage because 70% of consumers that utilize financial planners choose CFP professionals. There's also a potential for greater professional success. 70% of CFP professionals say that CFP certification has a positive impact on client trust and technical expertise. And greater earning potential is reported. CFP professionals earn 26% more than other financial advisors, adjusted for their years of experience. And CFP professionals may have more lucrative practices. Financial planning practices with CFP practitioners generate 40% more revenue and attract 53% more ultra and high net worth clients than firms without CFP professionals. The good news here also is that public awareness of CFP professionals is growing. Consumer use of financial advisors has increased from 28% to 40% in the last 5 years, with 7 out of 10 consumers reporting that they work with CFPs. And 87% of those who do work with CFPs say they are very satisfied, versus 72% of those who work with financial advisors without CFP certification. Now, this is also a great time for women and people of color to enter the financial planning profession because they are so underrepresented in our profession. Women represent only 31% of financial advisors in this country, and just 23% of women are CFP professionals. Sadly, this figure has not changed in more than 20 years. And less than 4% of CFP professionals in the United States are Black and Latino. This is significantly less than the population percentages for Blacks and Latinos in this country. Now, the CFP Board Center for Financial Planning's goal is to build a more diverse and sustainable workforce. The BU program supports the center's mission. Therefore, we offer mentoring and some career counseling services to help our students successfully enter this profession. And being a woman, obviously, I'd like to encourage more women to enter this profession. And I want to share these very interesting results from a CFP Board Survey. Here's what CFP professionals reported. 53% were more likely to be very satisfied with their career versus 35% of women advisors without the CFP certification. 84% reported that their jobs were highly ethical, which strongly appeals to many working women. 78% said that their work was people-focused. Again, the soft skills like communication and counseling skills that are needed to work with clients takes precedence in the financial planning profession. And many women CFP professionals agreed that this career path affords personal flexibility in striking a work-life balance and when starting a family. For many women, finding a career like financial planning that gives them this type of work-life balance that they need is a very important consideration. So we've put together a profile of women financial advisors here. It's interesting to see that women take different career paths than some of the men do. And this was from a CFP Board survey, and they found that 32% of women were paid a salary versus just 13% for men. 27% of women practice in large financial planning firms versus 18% for men. And also, 39% of women owned all or part of their own practices versus 63% for men. So you can see these are really drastic differences between the way men and women work in the financial planning field. But here's a very important takeaway from this slide, that women do have the right skills and characteristics needed to be successful financial planners. There are many important reasons to increase diversity in the financial planning profession, especially to ensure that financial planning is more accessible to an underserved population. Census projections estimate that people of color will become the majority of the U.S. population in the year 2045. Median weekly earnings for Black Americans has increased by 33% over the past 14 years. And real median household income for Latinos has increased by 6.1% from the years 2014 to 2015. The combined buying power for Blacks and Latinos is valued at over $1 trillion, and that is expected to increase. A CFP Board survey shows that a diverse workforce increases employee performance and retention, and influences employees to think more creatively about solutions to complex problems. Now, career satisfaction is a major reason why people of color enter the financial planning profession. 61% of Black and Latino CFP professionals are highly satisfied with their careers. This may be due to the flexibility that financial planners have to make their own schedules, or the potential to be their own boss, and to have a healthy work-life balance. A majority of Black and Latino CFP professionals are also very likely to recommend financial planning as a career to others. There are so many different types of firms that hire CFP professionals, and many large institutional firms are looking to increase diversity within their workforce. So let's go over what some of these possibilities are. You can work for banks, especially in trust departments. Banks may offer portfolio management, tax planning, estate planning, and financial planning for their clients. You could work for insurance companies, which are increasingly offering financial planning services in addition to selling insurance products. There are accounting firms that hire CFPs too. Many tax planning firms offer financial planning and investment planning services to their clients. And then, of course, you have brokerage firms and mutual fund companies too. They frequently encourage their employees to get CFP certification, and they're eager to hire CFP professionals. Even human resources will hire CFP professionals because human resources will provide employee benefits, which is part of the CFP board's curriculum too. And also you could work for nonprofit organizations because charitable planning is an important part of the CFP board's curriculum too. And of course, you can also work for financial planning firms as well. They range in size from large institutional firms to small independent boutique firms. Firms have different business models and compensation models that you should look into when you're comparing their practices. Retiring practitioners are looking for new planners to train and eventually take over their financial planning practices. You can also start your own financial planning practice. And if you're inclined to do that, I just want to let you be aware of the fact that there's help available for entrepreneurs through the Garrett Planning Network. That would be for those of you who want to be fee-only planners. And also the XY Planning Network, which works with millennials. And in addition to this, you can get tremendous support from your local financial planning professional organizations, such as the FPA, which is the Financial Planning Association, and NAPFA, NAPFA, which is the National Association of Personal Financial Advisors. Or if you wanted to, you could even buy an existing financial planning practice. Some entry-level positions in the financial planning field include client service or financial planning associate, paraplanner, operations associate, and investment research analyst. And with that, I'll take this, give this to you, Sarah, to talk about the BU financial planning program.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Carolyn. All right, so now just a little bit about the program overview for our program that we offer at BU. So you can complete this program essentially at your own pace, but students do have 21 months to complete the full 7 courses in recommended 3-month increments as well. The full program takes an average of about 1 to 2 years to fully complete. BU's program is one of the oldest in the country and has been ranked #2 by thebestschools.org. The BU program is rolling admissions, meaning you can start right away at the time of your enrollment, though it takes about a week or so to get your credentials set up and your logging in credentials. We do offer numerous webinars throughout the program, live and recorded webinars with instructors, where students can get their questions answered at that time. And if you do meet BU's education requirements, you are then eligible for the certificate in financial planning at the completion of the program. All right, the Robert J. Glovsky Scholarship, we've offered this for the past 10 years or so to students who want to provide financial planning services to underserved populations. This is an annual merit-based $2,000 tuition scholarship that is then applied directly to your course tuition. So we, of course, encourage you to apply for that if this is the track that you'd like to take. And the tuition for the program, our full program offers 3 different enrollment packages that correspond to each individual student's needs and, of course, your budgets. So the first one you see here is the standard program, which features access to the 7 individual courses and the webinars for $4,395. And the second one here is the program with books package, and it includes additional bundled savings, and all 7 course books are included in this particular package. The last package that's offered is the programs with book and exam review. This is the largest bundled savings with both books and a third-party exam review that is included with this, as we call the platinum package here, and probably the most popular of the bundles. This month, though, we are offering complimentary course books with your full program enrollment. So that's either the middle package or the one on the far right. And that comes out to over $1,000 in bundled savings. So definitely something to take advantage of if you're considering this for the month of June. There's still a few days left to take advantage of this offer. So, be sure to look out for in your email for future monthly promotions or on the program website as we have others that come along the way. The payment options for this program, you can either pay completely in full, or we do offer a 6-month interest-free payment plan to kind of help stagger your payments throughout the way here as well. All right, if you're interested in taking courses a la carte, students can certainly purchase single courses to get started on your educational goals rather than beginning with the full program option. And the program title and costs are listed here on the slide. So you start with the Introduction to Financial Planning, all the way through to the final capstone course, which is more in depth, and I'm sure Carolyn can answer that if anyone has questions in the Q&A. And if you do have any further questions about pursuing your CFP education requirement with Boston University, or would like to get in touch with one of our enrollment team, you can do so by email, phone, or live chat, which is found on the website at financialplanningonline.bu.edu. Carolyn is also a valuable resource for any future CFPs who would like additional information about the program, certification requirements, or even career opportunities. And with that, now we'll take about 15 minutes or so, or longer if we need to answer any questions from our audience. So please remember just to type your questions in the questions box located on the right side of your screen. We also have our enrollment advisor, Amber, here to answer questions, and as she types responses on the back end, we'll also be answering others aloud here. So I know we have a few questions that have already come in throughout the webinar, so we'll get started right away. Just one moment. All right, Carolyn, so first question for you as we dive right in. This person is asking, do you have examination centers in Africa where I could take my exam? So I guess more specifically, can this course be taken from others outside of the United States as well, and then have their examination?
Wow, that's an excellent question, and no one's ever asked me that before. I don't want to give you an answer to that because I think the CFP board you'd have to contact them to find out about that. From what I'm aware of, though, is that if you're whatever state you're residing in, you can set up your exam through Prometrics within your state. So whatever city would be closer to you at a Prometrics center. But making arrangements to take it through perhaps Prometrics in a different country, that's not something I can really answer for you. So, but please, get in contact with CFP Board. You can give them a call or send them an email, and they're really very good about responding.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Carolyn. This person asks, when is the application deadline and when is the start date? I'm assuming they mean possibly for the program, for the BU program. And for that, if that is your question, I don't know if you want to follow up there. We do not have an application deadline for this program because it is rolling admissions. So and then therefore no start date or no exact start date as well. So once you enroll in the program through the online portal here, if you go to the tuition page, there's a way to register right directly from that page. You are then able to, you will receive a confirmation email with login credentials and instructions. You can start right away. I think it usually takes about a week or so. Amber, feel free to jump on to fine tune that just to get everything situated in your enrollment process. But then from there on, it's really up to you to finish the course at your own pace in those 3-month increments as well. And the next question here for you, Carolyn, what percentage of students pass the exam? I don't know if you have a general ballpark, or I don't know if we're allowed to say necessarily there.
Well, I can tell you nationally what the statistics generally are. They're somewhere in the 62% pass rate range, but that can change based on the particular exam. So, we say to students, if you're looking for national averages, it's somewhere between 60 to 64% usually, but for some reason we see a lot of 62% pass rates after each exam cycle.
Great, thank you. This person says, I'm wondering what kind of recruitment, if any, happens at BU for its graduates.
Would you like me to take that one?
Oh, yes, of course. Thank you, Karen.
It's not anything formal because, first of all, we're not an undergraduate program or a graduate program. So we don't have like people coming on campus, representatives from different firms to recruit our students. Obviously, what we do keep you informed about is where the career opportunities could be. And so there are many different places for you to reach out to employers to be able to look for opportunities wherever you live. And some of those places where we have career information would be on the BU financial planning website. We have a list of jobs that are always current that firms contact us, and we post their openings onto the BU website. But for those of you who, that's basically for the Boston area, but for those of you around the country, what I would encourage you to do also is go to the CFP Board's website. They have a career center there, and it won't cost you anything in order to post your resumes and to look to see what employer positions are open throughout the country. There's also, we have a module in our program. It's called Webinars and Student Resources. And we do have tons of career information in there, and also links to a lot of different firms that do career planning for individuals, and will also post job openings as well. So once you get into the program, you could take advantage of that. These are all direct links too.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Next question for you, please. What does the exam review provide? Is there a prometric type test given for practice?
Yes, there is. If you can, from what my understanding is, you can make an appointment to go to a prometric testing center, the one that you've chosen for to take your exam. You can do that ahead of time. And I think there may be a small fee for doing it, but they will let you sit down and go through like a test drive, if you will, of what that computer testing experience is going to be like for you. And they can give you tips there also, a lot of information about like even things like, do I bring my lunch in? And what do I do about different kinds of breaks and things of that nature. So I would definitely encourage people to look into that. But I also want you to be aware that in the capstone course, which is the last course in the BU program, we have one module that is about next steps. And these next steps are about taking the CFP Board's exam and preparing for that exam. And so please take a look at that module. Again, this module has tons of information in it that is going to be very helpful to you before you take the board's exam.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Next question for you, Carolyn. Do credits transfer from other degrees for this program?
Well, we're not a degree program. So again, if you say took an undergraduate course in finance somewhere, that does not necessarily transfer into the BU program. If you have courses that you have taken at different universities and you want to see whether they are transferable or not, what you would do is you would go onto the CFP Board's website, and they actually have a process that you can go through where they will take a look at perhaps your transcript and other information about that course that you've taken and determine whether or not you would be kind of waived out of some of the topic requirements in the BU program. And if that's the case, then of course we would honor that. But if you have taken some financial planning CFP courses at different institutions and you have successfully completed them at different institutions, and now you would like to finish up your education at Boston University, we will certainly accept the other courses that you've taken from other registered programs.
Great, thank you so much. Carolyn, is the program synchronous or asynchronous?
Well, this whole program is asynchronous because it's all self-study. So what you're going to do is once you decide that you want to enroll in it, it's entirely up to you to set the pace for your studying. We, of course, have study schedules for you to help keep you on pace, but those are guidelines to help you to finish the program within the 21-month period. You can also accelerate your pace if you would like to. That's entirely up to you. But what we also have on top of the self-study is we do have live webinars that are a minimum of every 2 weeks. Some of them are every week. And the reason for that is because we're adding more and more webinars all the time. Most of these webinars are content related, so they're curriculum related, so that they're reviews of the subject that you're in, or they go over certain topics of interest within the course that you're taking. Some of them also are different things that may be of interest to you about the profession. Things like diversity and inclusion within our profession, or about pro bono financial planning, or career opportunities in financial planning. So we have a really great schedule of webinars. And if you do take those webinars, they're all in order of the courses. So you can take your self-study and do your webinars at the same time to keep yourself on track. When you do participate in a webinar, you have the opportunity to get your questions answered because they're led by Boston University's adjunct faculty.
Wonderful answers, thank you so much. And now, Carolyn, if you could maybe give this person a little bit of advice here. They're saying, I am doing a career change and will not meet the work requirements that you mentioned, such as a 5-year time frame to meet those work requirements. Does that prevent me from taking the test if I do not have the work requirements met?
That's such a great question, and I'm glad that you've asked it. The answer is no, it won't prevent you at all. We have many, many career changers within the BU financial planning program. I would say actually it's probably 50-50 in terms of people who are working in financial services already and just want to get their CFP designation versus those who are career changers. So obviously, you know, we've been in the business for, I don't know, 30 some odd years trying to help people who are career changers enter the financial planning field. So what will happen is once you have successfully taken the CFP Board's exam and passed it, that's when your 5-year window to get in your work experience starts. So you can either be on a 2-year track or a 3-year track of work experience. And in order to understand the nuances between the two, I definitely want to direct you to the CFP Board's website to take a look at that information. But I also want you to be aware of the fact that there are many ways that you can get work experience as well. And one of the things that I'm very excited about is one of our professional organizations called the FPA, which I'd mentioned before, Financial Planning Association. What they have is a externship program. So it's a virtual internship, and it's an externship program that will not only help you understand what it's like to be a financial planning practitioner, it will help reinforce the curriculum information that you're learning through the BU program, but it will also give you credit towards work experience. So this is something that we promote heavily at the BU program because it's of such great value for all of our students.
Thank you, Carolyn. This person is asking, is it reasonable to believe that completing this program can be done in about 12 months?
Yes, but be prepared because this is a rigorous program. Boston University is an academic university. In other words, it's a real brick and mortar university, and we have academic standards. And so this program, we want to make sure that all of our students who are participating in our program and going through it are going to be not only learning all the information at the highest academic levels, but that they're going to be learning how to use that information when they're financial planning practitioners. And so our emphasis throughout this whole program is about how to apply the information that you're learning to real client type of situations. And so it's not an easy program to go through. If you're just looking for something simple or cheap or something of no value really, then you don't want to even consider our program. But for those of you who are looking for a quality education that is going to prepare you to be successful on the CFP Board's exam and working as a financial planning practitioner in the future, then this program certainly would be right for you.
Thank you so much. Next question for you, Carolyn. I've been an accountant at an accounting firm, but we did not touch investments. Would this count as experience for this particular certification?
It may. And so again, that's something that the CFP board will determine whether or not you have met the work experience requirement. And what you can actually do right now, you don't have to wait until your studies are completed to find this out. I mean, wouldn't that be terrible to put in 21 months of this thinking that you had your work experience covered and find out that the board doesn't accept some of your previous work experience. So what you can do now is you can go to the CFP Board's website, and they actually have something called an informational graphic where they'll ask you a question and you put in the answer, and they make you go through a metric of different questions, and at the end it will basically tell you how much of your work experience the CFP Board will accept towards your that requirement, the work experience requirement. So you could do that now if you want to and take a look to see where you stand. But if you have any work experience requirement questions or what goes into being certified through your work experience, you should really contact the CFP Board because that's not within Boston University's jurisdiction.
Great, thank you. Next question for you, Carolyn. Maybe you could give a elevator pitch, if you will, or high-level summary. This person's asking, what distinguishes the BU program from others, such as are there reasons to choose it over other schools' programs?
I would say immediately the quality of education that you get at BU. And, we've been doing this for such a long time. We're really one of the oldest financial planning programs in the country. Our program started close to 40 years ago for our classroom program, and our online program has been in existence for probably about 20 years. So we know how to prepare students very, very well for the practice of financial planning and to prepare them to be successful when taking the CFP Board's exam. So we have the experience, we have a great set of instructors, we have a pool of 22 different instructors. All of them are subject matter experts. These instructors are not only CFP practitioners, but they have many other designations too, such as they could be attorneys or CPAs or CFAs, or they could have insurance designations, things of that nature. So that we really get the cream of the crop here at Boston University for instruction. And I think that if you, enrolled in the BU program, started looking at the quality of the online material, and had the benefit of hearing from our group of instructors who are these subject matter experts through our webinars, I think that you would find that our program is really one of the top ones in the country. And frankly, I also have to tell you that we've been told that we are by CFP Board. So it's something that we're very proud of, and we keep these standards very high in order to help our students.
Excellent answer. Thank you, Carolyn. Next question here. Are there continuing education requirements after the completion of the CFP?
Yes, there is. I mean, once you do become certified as a CFP professional, then all of us have continuing education requirements. I can tell you that it's 30 hours of CE credits that we have to report to the board every 2 years. One of those requirements will be in ethics, so that within each of our 2-year reporting period, we do have to have a new ethics course that we have to take and pass successfully. But let me tell you something. I used to have a financial education company. I am so amazed at how easy it is to get continuing education credits these days. All you have to do is sit in front of your computer and listen to these fabulous, sessions on all different kinds of financial planning related topics that you're going to find to be really interesting. And just by listening to that through your computer, you'll be able to get CE credit and not pay for these CE courses. So, where it used to be more burdensome to get your CE hours in before the deadline, but it's not burdensome anymore. It's very easy.
Great, thank you so much. This question here, what is the CFP Board's website URL? That would be, and I think the next question you asked was cfp.net. That is correct. That is the direct URL for the CFP Board, where you can find many of the resources that Carolyn mentioned and more on there as well. I don't know if Carolyn, you want to jump in at all with that, but.
Yeah. No, that's great. I would suggest that all of you take a look at the CFP Board's website before you even consider if you want to get into this field, because they're going to put a lot of information out there. They're going to put requirements out there. They have such great, helpful information, not just through the CFP Board's website, but take a look at their Center for Financial Planning. Also, take a look at their Career Center. So I think you'd find all of that to be of interest to you.
Thank you. Here's a good question. Maybe we touched on it a bit before, but can you describe the format of the courses? Are there assessments, papers, and projects we have to turn in?
Great question. And you know what? We should really talk about that within the body to let them know. Okay, so here's what you can expect if you enroll in the BU program. What you're going to do is you're going to see that we have 7 courses, as Sarah has mentioned to you. Once you get into a course, the courses themselves are broken down into different modules. And those modules can be anywhere from like 12 to 15 different modules. They actually correspond to the CFP Board topics and learning objectives that the board wants you to know for whichever course you're taking. So what you're going to do is you're going through the modules, and at the end of each module, you're going to find practice questions. Well, those practice questions are going to have answers for you because it's really important that you understand all the information in the module. If these are self-testing exercises, if you didn't do well on the practice question, then go back and read that page in the module again. We just want to make sure that you have the best understanding of the material. Also, throughout the modules too, as you're going through it, you're going to see things will pop up like review questions or client situations that you can answer. but we always have the answer and the explanation there so that it's, again, just a learning experience. When you are halfway through a course, you will have your first quiz. And that quiz is also not graded. It's a learning experience for you. So we're taking the first perhaps 7 or 8 modules and giving you questions in a quiz format so that you can test yourself on this information. We also introduce you at this point to some little mini caseworks so that you can see how to apply this stuff to client scenarios as well. When you finish the next group of modules, when you come to the end of taking that course, you will have another final quiz. This again is not graded. It's self-study with the answers and the answer explanations for you. Then we have a practice case for you, and that practice case will have the answers provided as well. It's really to get you so prepared that you really do understand all of the information that you need to know within that course. And if there are still things that you're not quite understanding, then those modules are available to you still to go back and review them. So again, we try and you know, the whole purpose is not to just test people. The purpose of this is to self-test you so that you can learn what it is that you need to know. Then once you're finished with all that, each course, at least the first 6 courses, will have a final exam. Now, that's what your grade is going to be based on, is taking the final exam. The final exam, you're going to have, it's a 2-hour exam. It's multiple choice questions, and it's also some cases in there too. So you're going to get some questions that refer to a particular case. Now, the thing about the exam is that you have 4 attempts to take that exam to improve your grade. So if you took it the first time and didn't like your grade, you have every opportunity to go back into the modules, review some of the material that you'd like to spend more time on, and then go and take it again. And you can take it up to 4 times, and we will use your highest grade. And that will be your final grade for the course. This is what you will do for the first 6 courses. When you get to the capstone course, which is the last course in the program, here's a little different. We do not have exams there at all. The capstone is sort of a review of some of the highlights of the information that you've learned in the first 6 courses, but it's also more centered on client interactions and working with clients as well. So now we're really integrating working with clients with all the knowledge that you've learned throughout the program. What will happen in the capstone course for your grade is that you're going to do a financial plan. Now, we have that plan already created for you, so it's not like you have to do something from scratch, but you're going to have to answer the questions that we have about that financial plan, and you can take as much time as you need in order to do that. And then what we also have you do is once you put your executive summary together for your financial planning clients, then you're going to do a video recording of that. So that we can be able to test your communication skills and give you feedback on your communication skills as well. So that course is very different from the first 6.
Wonderful. Thank you for the explanation there, Carolyn. Very detailed, and I think that's helpful for a couple of these other questions we've had as well. The other questions that we have, so it looks like we're coming to the end of the list here. So if anyone has any questions that they'd like to get answered within the next few minutes, feel free, of course, to type them here. I know we've had Amber answering some questions on the back end for those other questions that people had. The other question I have that's lingering here is the virtual internship by FPA available to those outside of the USA?
I really don't know about that. You would really have to get in contact with the Financial Planning Association to find out more about that. I know they've just started a new externship program. The programs, I think, go for about, I want to say 2 months, perhaps. So they've been so successful, and so many people throughout the country in all different programs have wanted to join them. So I think they're planning to make more and more of them available. But I don't know if they're planning to do that in other countries as well. But if they are, I definitely want to tell you, take advantage of it, because it's a really great experience from what our students tell us.
Great, thank you. And then here's 2 follow-up questions after your course descriptions that you had, Carolyn. Are the courses considered pass or fail, or and the other one is, are you doing a video presentation in front of actual clients or by yourself?
Okay, well, I'll take the pass-fail one first, because it's not pass-fail. When you do take your final exam, you'll be graded on that exam, and so it ranges. It's a scale from 0 to 100 type of thing. So whatever your numerical grade is, it will translate into an A, B, C, D, and we have A pluses and minuses and that type of thing too. So that's the way it would be graded. When it comes to the capstone course, now this is just an exercise. We've given you the case which is your financial plan that you're going to be completing for us and answering the questions to it. And these happen to be Mr. and Mrs. Hess. That's the new case we have this year. So what you're going to do is you're going to create a video of having a client meeting, a simulated client meeting with Mr. and Mrs. Hess. And so really it's just a pretend client meeting where you greet your clients and say, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Hess, so nice to see you again. And, and go through their whole financial plan with the action plan and everything, all the elements that are included in that client meeting. So it's not, don't worry, you don't have to go ahead and get people to sit there and film them and pretend that they're your clients. There's none of that. But I have to tell you, people have been so creative. Some of them have brought in people to be their clients. The only thing I would tell you is be careful who you choose for that and prep them ahead of time, because I could just share one funny story with you, is that a young woman was very nervous about doing this, and she had her parents sit down and be the clients. And her parents were so tough on her. She was really getting very flustered. So I would just say, we're not going to be grading on things like that. But if you want to be creative and pretend to bring in Mr. and Mrs. Hess, go right ahead and do it. You'll have some fun doing this part of it. That's what we hope. This is not something to be looked upon as the worst part of the program. It's probably the last part, so it's the best part.
That's great. Thank you, Carolyn. And we have Chris here that says, I'm going to use my dog. He'd love the time to shine.
Oh, that'd be hysterical. I'll definitely want to see that one.
That's funny. I like that. And there's one last question I have here, and then I think that'll bring us to the end of our Q&A session for today. This person says, I have an MBA in finance degree, and I've been an accountant for 6 years. Can I do the accelerated program?
I'm sorry, I missed the first part of it. Do they have a CPA? Did you say?
MBA in finance degree.
Oh, MBA in finance.
Yep.
That what the board does is they have something called, if you're a challenge candidate, then all you have to do is take the capstone course and sit for the exam. But this is not one of the things that are traditionally on their list for challenge candidates. But if you feel that some of the courses that you've had in the past should really, they should qualify, like for the investment planning course or the tax planning course, then get in contact with the CFP board and go through the process of having them, do a formal review of your transcript. And if they waive you out of a course, and you certainly don't have to take that through BU.
Wonderful answer. Thank you. All right, and thank you all for joining us today, and we hope that the information we presented will help guide you in the search for quality CFP education. And thank you, Amber, for answering some questions, and Carolyn, of course, for your wealth of knowledge here in this field. And with that, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day. Thanks again.
And thank you, Sarah, too. And Amber, thank you.
Take care.
Bye.